Everybody, welcome back to microbeerreviews.com. We have a very, very unique, old, aged beer to review with you guys tonight. This beer is over 3 years old. It's the 2009 edition of Old Stock Ale from the North Coast Brewing Company. This is a very unique beer in a lot of ways. So I was told to age this beer. It's 11.5% alcohol. So for a beer, this is upwards of what I call the wine content in terms of ABVs. I was told to age it at least a year. I have waited 3 years. I was told you can go up to 6 years. I don't know who told me that, but that's just what I was told. With this beer to make sure that it's ready for opening. North Coast Brewing Company is out of Fort Bragg, California. California. I've had several of their other beers. I've reviewed several of their other beers. I have never, I don't think, waited this long to age a beer and review it. So I have probably had this in my possession. It's now March of 2013. Over 3 years, close to 3.5 years to let this beer age and what I call marinate until we enjoy it with you. So what this beer is all about, it's a fine port. Old Stock Ale is intended to be laid down. That goes back to what I'm talking about. Laid down. This has been in a wine cooler of mine, laid down for over 3 years, with an original gravity of over 1.1, which is high, and a generous hopping rate. Old Stock Ale is well designed to round out and mellow with age. It's brewed with classic Maris Otter malt, Fuggles, and East Kent Goldings hops, which are all imported from England. It's an old style ale with a mahogany color, 34 IBUs, and rated as superlative according to the Beverage Tasting Institute of Chicago. Dark chestnut amber hue, exotic wine aroma, shocking, vivacious fruit flavor. The first sip of Old Stock is a wow moment. Old Stock demands respect and deserves it in every ounce. Those are some strong statements and quotes. So, 3 years in the making. Check it out. It's got a cool cap on it. North Coast Brewing. It's got a whale tail with a bunch of what looks like seagulls on the top. Kind of got that very kind of boozy, malty aroma to it. It's got a nice malt color to it. I am pumped about this. I don't wait 3 years to drink a beer. This bad boy has been... It's very fruity. This reminds me of ABT 12. This reminds me of like an old monk style, high alcohol, fruity, like Chimay in its aroma. Fruity, malty background. Looks just like it's got a real nice color to it. Dark, fairly filtered, very thin but prominent head to it. Doesn't lace nearly as much as what I would have thought for 11% alcohol. Smells great. Smells really fruity. Orange, apricot, I'm guessing here. I mean, they don't tell you. Maybe some fig. That was worth waiting. This beer, okay, so this is one of those beers that you would have for dessert It definitely has a port kind of consistency and flavor to it, but it's really sweet. It's got a lot of flavor in terms of malt. You can definitely taste the hoppiness in it, but it's not overpowering, of course, because it's so sweet. Going back to the port style of flavor and characteristic to it. This is cool. So this is one of those beers where I wish I had like a 6-pack of it and they were still aging. I don't, but this is why I do these reviews. So if you find beers like this that are old stock ale that are 2012, 2013, buy a 6-pack of them and keep them. Keep them somewhere dark and cold. Age them and share them with somebody who will appreciate it. This is the type of beer that I really like. When someone comes over for dinner, family comes in town, it's the holidays, you're on vacation, and you say, let me break out one of these. I want you to try one of these with me. This is one of those cases. This is a very flavorful, fruity, hoppy, but mainly malty beer. And it definitely has a lot of wow in it every sip. It just kind of explodes in your mouth. It's got a lot of really good flavors to it. They're very well balanced. You can tell this beer had a lot of thought and complexity built into it and poured into it during the brewing process. This is a phenomenal representation of a beer at 11.5% alcohol at a limited release that is brewed very specifically for special occasions and is phenomenal. On microbeerreviews.com, we rate the beers between 1 and 5. This is a 5. This is one of those beers that you call your local beer specialty store that you go to, and you say, the next time North Coast Brewing Company comes out with an old stock for 2013, I want a 6-pack, a 4-pack, I want a bomber, and I'd like to have 2 of them. And if they're $18, you buy them, and you store them, and you anxiously wait their arrival into the glass. This is going to be awesome. Every single sip truly is really, really, really good and unique. And it's a great beer. So, because this is such a rare beer, and because I have been told over and over again, let this beer age and sit and mellow, a lot of people will do that. So, for those of you that have, and so for those of you that haven't, but for those of you that have tried this, please leave comments on our YouTube channel, on our website, microbeerreviews.com. Please let us know what you think about it. I think it's phenomenal. It's awesome. It's a great, great, great representation of a limited release, as they call stock ale, that's aged for years, that is just worth the wait. Let us know what you think. You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again real soon on microbeerreviews.com. Thanks again. Cheers.